I was thinking of how difficult it would be for you, Cindy, to sit there and listen to your daughter sing that song. As you were singing that, Sherry, I remember as a kid, I went out to we had a big hill in the back of our house, and I saw all those beautiful yellow flowers too, and picked them all. I was out there so long, by the time I brought them in, they were bowing to my mom. I mean, it was such an honorable event. Handful of weeds, and my mom was so thankful for those. And how many moms have received dandelions? All right, there we go, all over the place. It doesn't make you feel special. It really does. A handful of weeds. It's just moms have a gift. They've got an incredible gift. When you give them a handful of weeds or a construction paper Mother's Day card, it's not just they don't put on a show to say I appreciate it. They really do appreciate it because they're connected with you. So moms, I want to say thank you to all of you, even though none of you in here or listening online are my mom. I do want to say thank you for pouring yourself into the lives of your children, because it's those moments like that that mean so much to the kids. And you invest yourself into their life, and it just makes us the people we are. And I just want to say thank you to all of you. Today is Mother's Day, and I want to say thank you to all the moms out there for the time and the love and the sacrifices that you pour into the lives of your children. Thank you so much for what you do. This is one, like I said earlier, this is one of those days of recognition that I'm so glad we take time to do every year, because you guys are so deserving of it. On top of that, our whole country is recognizing one of God's commands, whether they like it or not. That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and throw that up there on the screen, just so you can see which command they're following today. It's Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12. And here it is. It's just plain and simple. Exodus 20 verse 12 says, honor your father and your mother. That's what we get to do today. We're going to do half of that. We'll honor our fathers next month. But this month, we're honoring the moms. And I like the fact that whether you like it or not, we're all going to obey this command, even to a small extent today. And even though it should be happening all the time, I'm thankful for a day that's dedicated to you each year. You do deserve it. Today, I not only want to recognize you, I also want to be a blessing to you, because I do believe you deserve a blessing. I put a lot of thought and prayer into how to approach Mother's Day this year. We have so many examples of godly women in the Bible that we could refer to, but this Mother's Day, I've decided to highlight a struggle rather than a godly characteristic. I want to take a different approach. I want to take another look at Jesus, his first miracle, turning the water into wine. I want to go back to that story and take another look at that, but I want to do it from the perspective of his mom, because his mom was there in that story. This is one of the few passages where we get to see the personality of Mary shining through in the Bible. We know the story of Christmas. We see Mary, she delivers Jesus, and we see very little there. Then the curtains open one more time when Jesus is 12 years old, and we get to see a little interaction with Jesus there when he's 12 years old, when she lost him, which was probably an exciting day. But so we get to see that, and then it opens again where we get to see Mary when he's grown up. This is a story where Jesus turns the water into wine at a wedding celebration. And this, by the way, is a scene of celebration, not a scene of concern. This isn't a time to worry, it's a time to celebrate. Mary is carrying enough concern for everyone on her own shoulders in this story. She's got it all. Everybody's celebrating at this wedding feast. What's Mary doing? She's carrying all the concern. Mary only says 2 sentences in this entire story, but because of the conversation, you can almost feel the burden that she's carrying on her shoulders that day. So let's go right into it. John chapter 2 in verse 1. It says, on the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Now both Jesus and his disciples were invited to the wedding. This isn't one of those times where Jesus just happens to be somewhere and somebody approaches him. This time he's invited to celebrate the lives of the newly married couple. He's not just there and somebody runs up and says, Jesus, help me. No, he's invited to the wedding. with his disciples. They're there for a celebration. That's what they've come for. Would you come celebrate the lives of these two people that have just gotten married? That's the picture. That's what Jesus walks into. He's not there for miracle purposes. He's there for a wedding celebration. Jesus isn't there to perform any act. He didn't come for the purpose of doing anything specific. He just came because he was invited to a wedding. We've got to understand why he showed up. That's why he showed up, because he was invited. He's there to party. He's there to celebrate alongside of everybody else. That's what Jesus is there for. We normally don't think of Jesus in that light. Jesus was there to party? Yes. Jesus came to celebrate. That's what he was there for. Behind the scenes, there's a problem developing, though. These wedding celebrations went on for many days, day after day after day. It wasn't just like the reception that happens after the ceremony that we're used to. These wedding celebrations went on for a week's time. The bridegroom was supposed to have everything in order for the whole event, including enough food and enough wine to take care of everybody through the whole occasion. To fail in this area would indicate that he was not even able to provide for his bride. So it would bring shame to his family if it's not taken care of. I'm not sure who the bride and groom were at this wedding, but I do know that Mary took it a personal responsibility to protect their honor. She's holding this on her own shoulders. When a problem showed up, she became personally invested in finding a solution. Mary's plugged into the story here. Look at verse 3. And when they ran out of wine, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." When Mary finds out that the wine's gone, she immediately goes to Jesus and hands the problem over to him. You know, like I did with Jack earlier? It's your problem. I just hand it right over to him. It feels so much better when you hand your problem to somebody else to deal with. Mary hands the problem over to Jesus. Now, Jesus is in celebration mode when Mary comes up to him and changes the atmosphere into desperation mode. Jesus is there celebrating, and then Mary says, "Here, have a problem. We've got a problem." Mary's concerned, and she's trying to fix the issue. That's her whole purpose in the story. We've got to fix the problem. Jesus' response is somewhat shocking, but it tells us a lot. Look at verse 4. It says, Jesus said to her, "Woman, what does your concern have to do with me? My hour has not yet come." That doesn't sound very Jesus-y, does it? What does your concern have to do with me? In other words, how is this my problem? How is this my problem? His mom just came up to him and said, "Jesus, they have no wine." And Jesus says, "How's that my problem?" Doesn't sound real Jesus-y, but I'm telling you, he is not saying this with any disrespect at all. It's just a very valid question. Jesus wasn't there to reveal himself as Messiah. That's not what he came for. He came to celebrate. He was there to celebrate the marriage of this couple. That's what he's there for. When Mary told him that they didn't have wine, Jesus had no responsibility to supply it for them. It's not his problem. "This isn't my responsibility, Mom." Okay, they have no wine. That's the bridegroom's job. But he's supposed to make sure there's enough of this stuff. This doesn't pertain to me. But his mom's carrying the burden of this problem on her own shoulders. For some reason, it's really important to her. So she goes to Jesus. And Jesus has no obligation to help in any way. He's just a guest. Mary says, "Jesus, they have no wine." And Jesus says, "What does that have to do with me?" The very next thing that is said tells us that there's a definite connection between mother and son here in this story. And I love the fact that there's some things that are not said, but what is said tells us a lot about what's not said here. Jesus doesn't even agree to help. Mary's next sentence is only 7 words long, but it tells us so much about the story. Look at verse 5. His mother said to the servants, "Whatever he says to you, do it." You can almost see Jesus just smiling there. "No, Mom. All right, I'll help. I'll help. Mom, you're carrying it all on your shoulders. You're carrying all the weight of this whole problem on your shoulders, and it really doesn't have to do with us, but I'll help. I'll go ahead and help." She knew her son, and she knew that he was going to be there for her. Mary was carrying the burden in her heart to help fix this situation. She wants to fix this problem. This wasn't supposed to be a time of burden. It was supposed to be a time of celebration. That's what the whole event's about, celebration. In this miracle, Jesus not only illustrates something about himself, but he also reveals something about us too. This is something his mom really needed to see. Mary needs to see this lesson too, and he does it right in front of her. Look at verse 6. Now there 6 water pots of stone, according to the manner of purification of the Jews, containing 20 or 30 gallons apiece. Jesus said to them, "Fill the water pots with water," and they filled them up to the brim. Jesus doesn't ask the people to bring the bottles that were just emptied. He doesn't ask for those bottles. Something had to be holding the wine before they ran out of it. They ran out of wine, then it was being held in something. Why doesn't Jesus say, "Bring me the empty bottles"? He doesn't say that. He doesn't say, "Bring me the empty bottles." He said, "Bring me the 6 purification pots. I want those ones. Those pots that hold 20 or 30 gallons apiece. I want those vessels. I don't want the empty vessels that had the wine in them before." Jesus doesn't want to fill those bottles back up. He goes straight for the 6 purification pots that were used for religious purposes. We're going to go for the big ones. Let's get the big pots. These were pots that constantly reminded the people that they needed to be cleansed. They retold the story that they were not enough and they needed to do more. This was the picture of these purification pots. You're never clean enough. You've never done enough. You always need to do more. You need to be cleaned again and again and again. That's what these pots represented. Jesus was changing the message, though, at this wedding celebration. Once the people filled these purification pots with water, Jesus tells them what to do next. Look at verse 8. And he said to them, "Draw some out now and take it to the master of the feast." And they took it. Now the pressure's on. You've got, I don't know the math here. All you mathematicians might know, but they got a lot of water. I'm just as good as that as identifying plants. So they got a lot of water. 20 to 30 gallons apiece, 6 of these. They're filled with water to the brim, and he says, take some of that water out and give it to the master of the feast. Take it to him. Now the pressure's on. The first taste of what was just water is going to the master of the feast. If anyone can increase anxiety, that guy would do it. That guy could do it. We're going to take this and we're going to let him taste it, and we're going to call this wine. I saw what was in the pot. That's not wine. That was water. Would you take some to the master of the feast? Let him drink some. You want increased anxiety? This would do the trick. This is going to do it. The reputation of the bridegroom is at stake now. Okay, this is not the right move. You don't give the master of the feast water and say, "It's wine." It really is. It's wine. You're not going to trick him. So take it to him. I don't know what Mary would have been feeling at this moment, but I'm going to guess that there was some concern in the mix. Okay, we're doing this. We're doing this. Jesus just took 6 pots, which represented the constant need to do more, and he used them for serving vessels for a time of joy. We're going to turn it into celebration. As the wine was being taken to the master of the feast, I'm sure everyone involved was anxious about the reputation of the bridegroom. What's he going to look like now? But their worries were put to rest when the master of the feast took the first sip. Look at verse 9. When the master of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine and did not know where it came from, but the servants who had drawn the water knew, the master of the feast called the bridegroom, and he said to him, "Every man at the beginning sets out the good wine, but when the guests have well drunk, then the inferior. You have kept the good wine until now." The reputation of the bridegroom went in a completely different direction than Mary was feeling like the reputation was going to go. Wow. Instead of shame, he's now being honored. Jesus, you just saved the day. Thank you for whatever you just did with the water. Thank you for helping here. Mary was finally able to take that deep breath that everybody else at the party was able to do before. She was able to take that deep breath and enjoy the celebration. Mary didn't know what Jesus was going to do to help. She just knew that if anybody could help, it was Jesus. I don't know what to do, Jesus. I have a problem. and I don't know what to do. I can't solve this problem on my own, so I'm just going to turn it over to you. I'm just going to give you my problem. Can you fix it? Can you fix it? What's the problem? We have no wine. What do you want me to do? Give them wine. That's a problem. That's a big problem. It's like when we say we have no money. What do we want to do? Have money. It takes a little bit of work, a little bit of time. It's a real problem. This is the problem that Mary hands over to Jesus. I need you to help me with this, Jesus. And after she turned the problem over to Jesus, she does nothing else. Nothing else in the story. Her job was just to live and celebrate with the rest of the guests. That was all she had to do at this point. Mary had an incredible heart, and she wanted to help. That's all we see in the story about Mary. You have got such a huge heart, and you really, really want to help people. Moms, this is your story too. I know. I've seen you. I lived with my mom. I've seen the nature of mothers. This is your story too. We've got a problem, and I want to help fix the problem. It's known on a universal scale that a mom's job is 24/7. That's when you're on the clock. 24/7. Cooking, cleaning, boo-boos, counseling, and the list just continues to go on and on and on. That's your job. And we know it can happen in the middle of the night. We know it can happen early in the morning. It can happen throughout the whole day. We know you're on the clock at all times, 24/7. And thank you for all those things. They don't go unnoticed. I want to, as representing all of us, thank you for what you do. But there is one area where you could use some work. You know that mom look? I just got that from several different directions, just like that. There's an area you need some work. Really? Yeah, I just got that. So pray for me. I remember it from my own mom, but I just got shot from different directions just now. There's one area where you could use some work. I'm so thankful for this. And please understand that I don't want to put any pressure on you. I actually want to take some pressure off of you in this area. But there is one area that moms sometimes fall short because of the fact that you are always there for us. And it is the area of celebration. Sometimes you miss out on this area. While everyone else was celebrating the lives of the newly married couple in the wedding, Mary was carrying the burden. She was trying to fix the problem. She was trying to carry the burden of making this work to save the reputation of the bridegroom and his family. Everybody else is celebrating, and Mary's missing out on that because she's carrying the concerns. This is what moms do, and we notice, and we are grateful for it. Thank you for carrying the burdens. We do appreciate that. But there's an area where we need you, and sometimes it's missed. This reminder is the gift I want to give to you today. There's a medicine that every household needs to have administered. They really need this. There's a verse in the Bible that's very rarely preached on, but it's so important. Moms, you may not realize it, but you have the power to change the climate of your home. Have you ever heard the expression, if mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy? I didn't even have to tell you. You knew the rest of it. Hey, if mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. If daddy ain't happy, don't nobody care. Don't you know the you know the expression? But if mom's not happy, it can change the temperature of the entire household. One person can change the social temperature of a situation. It is possible. Now, I want to be fair to moms on that. That expression is out there, and we find some humor in it, and then you might find some offense in it too. But I want to be fair to you on this. The reason they often carry so much stress is because of the fact that they're trying so hard to nurture the home. You're trying to carry all these burdens. You're trying to do all this stuff. But there is one area of nurturing that is easily overlooked, and it's the area of celebration. Look at this verse in Proverbs 17 and verse 22. A merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. Why did God give us this verse? It's because there is a time for this. There's a time for this. Yes, you juggle many things in your life. You juggle so much. You carry burdens. Jesus' mom did the same thing. Then Jesus made a powerful illustration for her to see. He took what reminded her of the need to do more and more and more, and he turned it into a symbol of celebration. Yeah, the purification pots, always not good enough. You always need to do more. You always need to purify. You always need to cleanse yourself again. This religious picture, he takes it and he turns it into a picture of celebration. It wasn't time to carry burdens. It was time to celebrate. That's what we're here for, Mom. We're here to celebrate the lives of these two people, and you're carrying all the burdens on you. It's important to take time for this. It's important to take time to celebrate. Look at Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Yes, there is time to help carry burdens. Yes, that is necessary. There is time for that. But don't forget to heal and build up and laugh and dance. Don't forget about that. I want to share with you one of the greatest memories I have of my mom. She is the person that led me to the Lord. I knelt down by her bed that day. I remember that day so clearly. She's the one that led me to the Lord, and I'm thankful for that. But this memory that I'm about to share with you makes me smile every time I think about it. This is the greatest memory I have of my mom. My mom was hanging a tapestry on the wall, and it was this picture of this deer drinking out of a stream. She's hanging it on the wall, and I walk in the room, and I see her hanging that picture on the wall. I was watching her do this, and my 15-year-old brain came up with a terrible idea. I remember it clearly. I'm seeing this as I'm telling the story. I came up with a bad idea. We had a metal folding chair in the room. So what I decided to do was pour some water in the folding chair and wait for that water to settle. You put water in a folding chair and it settles, you can't see the water. It's just blends in with the chair. So I went ahead and thought, you know what, this is a good idea. It wasn't, but that's what I thought. This is a good idea. So I put the chair up here and I poured water in that chair and waited for it to settle. Then I told my mom, you know, you could see that a whole lot better. You're trying to make sure that's straight and centered on the wall. You could see that a whole lot better if you come sit in this chair. You can see it real well, Mom. So my mom stuck it up there and she said, okay, and she walks back. And my heart was racing with excitement as I watched her sit in that chair. I'm like, yes, there is a God, yes. I'm watching my mom as she goes to sit in that chair. My heartbeat is speeding up. I am so happy for her, or for me. I'm so happy she's about to sit in this chair. And then she finally sits down in this chair. And my life changed. Everything changed. My mom gave me the most terrifying look I have ever seen in my entire life. And the look is a little confusing, but I was scared. I was so scared when she did it. She opened her eyes real wide, like more than eyes should be able to open. And she smiled. And I knew right then that whatever she was about to do, she was really going to enjoy it. She was going to love whatever was about to go down. I was terrified. I saw her smiling, but that didn't mean she was happy. I didn't know what this smile meant other than she's about to have a good time. Right after I pulled a prank on her. That means I'm not going to have a good time. Next to her was a new corn broom. You know those brooms? You know the brooms. The brooms that they have all that straw on the bottom of them, but they feel like daggers when they're stabbed into you. You know those brooms? That's what was sitting next to her. I didn't notice the broom. when I poured the water into the chair. So she reaches over and she grabs that broom. And my mom took me on a trip I will never forget. She took that broom and held it and jabbed it into me. And then I decided to run, and my mom did something I didn't know she could do. She kept up. She kept stabbing me with that broom. We ran every square inch of that house. We ran. She is laughing and just stabbing me with that broom over and over and over again. I'm yelling, ow, ow, and that just motivated her. She's just stabbing me with that broom. It was new. That means they don't bend yet. The bristles are really straight. And she's just having the time of her life, stabbing her son with a broom. My mom chased me around that whole house, laughing and turning me into a human pincushion. She was loving it. And when she was finished, I was covered in so many polka dots. And we were both laughing hysterically. I was laughing so hard. She was laughing so hard. I was hurting so bad. She was laughing so hard. I'll never forget that day. It's one of the memories of my mom that I am most thankful for. I'm so thankful for that time. What my mom did not know was that I was carrying a lot of stress in my life at that time. I was 15 years old, and there's a lot of stress 15-year-olds can carry in their life, and I was carrying a lot of that stress. My mom did not understand. She didn't even know that I was carrying the stress. She just knew I made a bad decision, and she was going to let me remember not to do that again. That's all she knew. She didn't understand what I was dealing with in my mind. But that moment of laughter helped me see the love and the security my family provided for me. I was so thankful for that moment. That laughter was like a good medicine, and I needed that in my life. I needed to see that side of my mom. Ladies, you do so much. You do so much. But sometimes it's best to give the problem over to Jesus and just celebrate. Sometimes you don't carry it anymore. Just let God have that one and grab a broom and have a good time. Maybe a different version, but you know what I'm saying. Just enjoy life. Enjoy life. Your life is filled with the blessings of God. Celebrate the blessings. Take time to celebrate. You don't have to fix the problems. Sometimes you do, but sometimes there is a time to laugh. There's a time to dance. There's a time to administer joy, not teach responsibility. Sometimes it's good for you to grab a broom. Sometimes it's okay. Get the laughter going. It's all right. We need to see that side of you. Laugh. Make your kids giggle. Make some memories. That's a good thing. It's a good thing, and we need that. That's a medicine that your children need. That's a medicine your families need. Go ahead and laugh. Go ahead. Show your family that a life centered around Christ is full of joy at all times, even in the bad times. When everybody's stressed because of the situation, you bring the giggling in. Go ahead. Bring it in. It's okay. God's got it. God's got it. We're going to be okay, and let's laugh a little bit. Oh, and one other thing. Philippians 4:6. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Jesus' mom did it right. When the anxiety started to build, she handed the problem over to Jesus, and she went back to the celebrating. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just going to turn this one over to you. I can't fix this myself, so I'm going to give it to you. Could you fix that? Because I'm going to go giggle with my kids. I'm just going to celebrate a little bit. We're just going to enjoy a moment. We're going to make a memory together. But I can't fix the problem right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and give this over to you, Jesus, and I'm going to walk away. And I'm going to celebrate the blessings that are in my life right now. It's okay. That's a good choice. That's a good decision to make. We're all capable of making everything the top priority in life, and that goes to men and women. Everything doesn't have to be the top priority. We don't have to make everything the top priority. The issue that comes up right now might not be the issue that needs to be taken care of right now. It's okay to put it on the back burner or to hand it over to Jesus and just start getting the giggling going. It's okay. It's all right to do that. when we do this, we neglect a few very powerful verses in the Bible. Laughter is like good medicine. There's a time to heal. There's a time to build up. There's a time to laugh, and there's a time to dance. We can't neglect those. There's a time to deal with issues, and there's a time to stop and celebrate the blessings of God. There's a time to instruct your children, and there's a time to celebrate their lives. And I don't mean just their birthday. I mean, there's times to celebrate their lives. Just in the middle of a day, just go ahead and celebrate the lives of your kids or your family. There's a time to celebrate. Moms, you carry so much, and for that we do say thank you. It's not that those things don't need to be done. I was talking to the teenagers this morning. God often, in 1 Thessalonians, God uses this picture of a mother to represent what ministry is supposed to look like. Ministry is supposed to represent the nurturing of a mother. You realize God didn't say of the father? Because that would be a different ministry altogether. The nurturing of a father is different than the nurturing of a mother. Kid comes out and missing a leg and we tell him to walk it off. A kid comes in and there's a little tiny boo-boo and the kid thinks it's the end of the world. They'll sing as they're nurturing and putting a Band-Aid on them and pouring the love and the time and the dedication into that kid. And the dads, we come up with some crazy ideas sometimes. And when Paul was writing, and we loved you like a nurturing, don't say father. No, that's a different picture. That's a different picture. Mother. As a mother takes care of her children. Moms, you carry so much, and we do thank you. That doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you for what you do. But don't forget to administer the medicine of a merry heart. We need that too. We need to see that side of you. Tell Jesus about your concern, then rest in the comfort that he will get you through it all. And then celebrate. Just celebrate. Take a moment, take a breath, and celebrate. Sometimes it's okay to say, everybody, we are having ice cream and Oreos for dinner, and I don't want to hear anybody crying about it. It's okay. It's okay to play that card every once in a while. It's all right. Yeah, but what about vegetables? There's milk in the ice cream. It's okay. Like, what did Dad make you do this? Yeah, it's okay to share that moment with the kids. Make a memory. They need to see that side of you. They need to see that laughter, that merry heart being administered to your children, to your family, to your friends, to your loved ones. Administer a merry heart. God didn't put those verses in there just as filler. Those are important verses. Use them. Don't forget to make those memories and administer that medicine, because I'm telling you, the nurturing of your families, they need that medicine too. We need that medicine too. One thing that the next generation needs to remember is that we are truly a blessed people. We are blessed, and it's okay to celebrate the blessings of God. Look at Psalms 103 and verse 2. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. Our relationship with God is worth celebrating. Our relationship with our family is worth celebrating. Teach the next generation the importance of living a life that rests on the Lord, and then go make those memories. Go make those memories. Make the kid giggle. I'm telling you, I can have a bad day, and when I hear a little kid giggling, it changes everything for me. Be the one that administered that medicine. Be the one that made them giggle a little bit. Get in a tickle fight. It's okay. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Maybe you've seen this message around town from time to time. I know you have. Maybe it's hanging in your house. Live, laugh, and love. Live, laugh, love. And have a happy Mother's Day. But go administer the gift of laughter, the gift of a merry heart. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much for all you do. I'm not saying those are bad things. Those are necessary things. But it's okay every once in a while to take a deep breath, enjoy your ice cream and Oreos, grab a broom, whatever it takes, but make some memories. My greatest memory of my mom is that day when I hurt so bad and laughed so hard. But she did too. What a great memory. What a great memory. Live, laugh, love. And celebrate. Celebrate life. Don't carry all the burdens. Give them to Christ. Turn them over to Jesus and go make some memories. Have a happy Mother's Day.